Steve, we'll start with you. Camp impressions. What's hit you over the last week in regards to what's important?
Yeah, they had a couple camp days, Monday and Tuesday this week already. They'll be back up again next Tuesday and Wednesday. I wouldn't say there was a ton of star power at these last 2 days, but it has been good to be able to watch Will Smith again from Dublin Kaufman, defensive lineman. He worked out on Monday. Then he had a little bit of cramping. He was going to work out on Tuesday, still appeared at the camp, but didn't work out. We got to see 4 more commitments on Tuesday, which was Ty Lockwood, very athletic, good-looking tight end prospect out of Tennessee, who's committed to the Buckeyes, and then 3 offensive linemen who the Buckeyes have commitments from, all from Ohio. Austin Siereveld, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'll defer to anybody else who's got a better way to say it. Joshua Padilla, that one's an easy one to pronounce, and this is probably the easiest. Luke Montgomery from Findlay, Ohio. Those 3 guys all were there yesterday and all looked the part. And, my feeling on offensive line is they need a lot of offensive line help. It's kind of gone off the rails here the last couple of years, other than Paris Johnson and Donovan Jackson. There hasn't been a lot to write home about maybe with the offensive line recruiting. So they need quality and they need quality depth. And I think those 3 guys are going to help that. As far as other players, there were a couple guys who were there on Monday who had offers previously, Nigel Smith and Dylan Stewart, both of them defensive ends who'd been offered previously by Ohio State. They also had a tight end from Georgia, Imari Winston, maybe how you pronounce it. And then Winston was at camp. He really didn't camp yesterday. He was more on a tour, and then he got out of town. And then Winston Watkins, a wide receiver from IMG Academy 2025. He was a Texas A&M commitment, I believe, and he received an offer. They had some other guys there yesterday. DJ Pickett, a safety from Florida, 2025 kid who had been offered previously. So it's been kind of a mixed bag, and not a lot of new offers, only 2 of them to my count this week. So maybe the quality of recruits will be better at the camps next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good opportunity to get guys out there running around. I would say overall, like last year's camps were a little different in terms of we were coming off of the COVID year, a year prior. I think there was more necessity to get out there and be seen because so many guys hadn't been seen just due to the shutdowns in the world. My big impressions are going to be the 4 Ohio State commits that Steve had mentioned, taking part in some afternoon drills yesterday, just getting the chance to see them, the smiles on their faces as they were hanging out with each other. Because, for the 3 in-state guys, I mean, they certainly know each other. For Ty Lockwood, I mean, he's outside of Nashville. I mean, it's not a 6-hour drive, not the end of the world to get to Columbus, but being able to get out there and learn and do some drills under Justin Fry, under Kevin Wilson, that's, very important. I think the biggest takeaways that I have right now is just where we are in the calendar, where we're seeing 2026 offers, where we're seeing 2025 offers. It's not that long ago that you didn't want to even offer somebody 1 class behind for fear of chasing off the person who was a year ahead, being like, well, you're already recruiting over me. Whether or not, it's just a matter of that we're just thinking that these kids in terms of recruiting are getting more savvy to the situation, or, certain schools have sped up the timetable. I don't know exactly where the genesis of that is, but when we're looking at guys, class of 2026 means you have not had a day in high school. You have not had a day in high school at that point. You're an 8th grader. So it's a very different world that we live in right now. And for those of us that cover recruiting closely, I mean, I don't even want to say that I covered as closely as a Bill Green or a Mark Gibler or a Bill Kurelik do. It just means that many more names that you're going to have to keep track of as things are going on. But then again, don't go too far back to remember that Tate Martell committed to Washington coming out of junior high school. So the more things change, the more they stay the same.